So now let us look at these concepts of Coriolis force and centrifugal force in terms of by an example, and also in terms of their origin and their explanation. When we look at a system, we have the same system, evolution of the same system in an inertial frame and a non-inertial frame, right? Okay. So the example that I am considering is of a person or any system which is standing motionless. So there is no time evolution of the system in the rotating frame. So a person is standing motionless on a platform at a distance r. So if this is the center of the platform, then the person is standing here at a distance r in the radial direction from the center, and the platform is rotating with angular speed omega, which is pointing in the z cap direction, right? Okay. So this is then my system. So again now the omega normal direction is fixed, and it coincides with one of the Cartesian coordinates, coordinate axis. Let's say the origin of these two axes, O prime the non-inertial one, so in the frame of the rotating platform, and O the inertial frame fixed to the ground in which the platform is rotating, right? The origin both coincide, so that now we can make an observation. One from the point of view of a person who is standing on the ground looking at the rotating platform and the person standing still there, and another from the point of view of an observer who is actually sitting at the center or at any other location on the platform and looking at the person standing motionless at a radial distance r from the center of the platform, right? So then this is the problem, and let's look at what one would observe in these situations, right? So first of all, see, the person is standing still, right? There is no velocity of rotation or the velocity in the rotational frame, right? So that means in this case, in the first case, Coriolis force is 0. It's not an omega cross v rotation, which is just not going to be there, right? There will be centrifugal force in the rotating frame, and then this is equal to minus m omega cross r. And now, of course, we know what is centrifugal force, but looking at that problem, we can find its value, or we can get the same value back from the first principles. So let's do that. For this person's remaining stand still, r vector is nothing but r cap, where now this r is fixed, right? Omega vector is nothing but omega, again fixed in z cap direction, right? So we can work in r by z coordinate system in terms of finding out this cross product. So then this is simply m omega z cap cross omega z cap cross r cap, and if you do this, you will find as mr omega square r cap, right? So F centrifugal is mr omega square as we expect, as well as we get its direction. So it's pointing in the r cap direction. That means the centrifugal force is pointing radially outwards, right? And that's how the person will feel. So person is standing on the platform, and we all have done this in a playground swing. If you go and stand on the carousel and you stand at a particular location, as the platform starts rotating, we feel an outward push, right? That outward push is because of this F centrifugal, right? In terms of balancing the forces, for an observer who is rotating with the platform, looking at the person standing still, being motionless, right? So what the observer sees is that there is no acceleration of the system. The system is not evolving at any given point of time. System is exactly the same, right? That means there is no acceleration of the system, and if that is the case, then what the observer in O prime frame will see is that there should be forces which balance out each other, right? So in O prime, right, the forces that we see, existing forces are Fg is equal to mg, right? And in this case, it will be in negative z cap direction. That's a physical force. Since the person is not going up or down from the carousel or from the platform, this will be balanced by normal reaction, right? Which is then also equal to mg but in positive z direction, right, such that Fg is equal to n, right. The person will feel a centrifugal force which is pushing it outwards, right. So F centrifugal, which is equal to mr omega square r cap, so pushing it outwards, and because under this force the system is not evolving, the person is not moving, it's still is maintaining its radial position r. That means this also has to be balanced by some other force, right, and that force will be friction. And of course this is true, and if the platform doesn't provide friction to the feet, then we actually cannot stand still. As soon as it starts rotating, we'll feel an outward push and then one goes out, right. So F friction, which is then going to be equal to the same thing, it has to match in magnitude and it will be pointing inwards, right. So for this person, if I want to draw this thing, so now my omega is coming out of the plane of paper, plane of the board, right. The person is standing at this location, right. The forces are normal reaction coming out, gravity going in, right. I have rotated it by 90 degree, going in. F centrifugal, pushing it outwards, and the friction between his feet and the platform pulling it inwards. And in this sense, the person remains motionless on the platform. Now let us try to understand the same thing from the point of view of a person who is standing still on the ground, right? So from the inertial frame, how does I explain the exact same phenomena? Because the person is standing on the platform, he is actually not moving with respect to the platform. So how do I, who is standing on the ground, looking at the platform rotating, explain the same situation, right? Now, as long as I am only bothered with the physical forces, I don't have to worry about anything, because being on the ground or being on the platform, I am going to measure the physical forces in the exact same manner. So this is a physical force, this is a physical force, this is a physical force. So I know that the system is under the influence of force of gravity, normal reaction, and force of friction, right? However, this one is not there when I am looking from inertial frame. This one is not there. So for me, when I look at the force balance, I say that Fg is equal to n, so that the person, I also see that the person is not actually jumping up and down on the platform. So his z position is fixed. That means the force of gravity is balanced by the normal reaction. There is a force of friction which is going to be pulling him inwards, right? And there is no centrifugal force. So the location now of the person cannot remain constant. So Fg is equal to n, right? So we know that z is not going to change. The z position is not going to change on the platform. However, what about r and theta? Right? Because now I have only one force. So F friction is then going to be equal to ma. Right? It will be responsible for motion of the person, right? And this is again going to be equal to the same mr omega square, right? In fact, with a minus sign in the real direction, because for a person who is standing on ground, something moving in a radius of circle r with angular speed omega has a centripetal acceleration pointed inwards towards the center and the magnitude r omega square, right? So the frictional force is then responsible for the centripetal acceleration of the person. For an observer moving with the platform, the person is motionless, so there is no acceleration, all the forces are balanced, and the friction force is balanced by the centrifugal force. For the observer who is stationary on the ground, the frictional force is not balanced, rather it is responsible for the centripetal acceleration of the system, of the person rotating on the platform, and for a person standing on the ground, indeed location of this person keeps changing, right? At one instant he is here, another instant here, another instant here, another instant here. So for me, the person is not motionless, he is actually making a circle of radius r. So he is having a centrifugal acceleration ma, or negative of r omega square, and therefore the friction force is responsible for making him go around. Okay. So exact same observation, exact same result. However, the interpretations are slightly different, right? On the ground, I say friction force is responsible for causing motion in a constant circle. On the rotating platform, I say that the friction force is nicely balanced by the centrifugal force, and that's why I do not move. The person will not move. Okay. We can change the problem slightly to understand now effect of other types of motion in the same system. So now let us say that now the person is not motionless, right? Because being motionless has the effect that there will be centrifugal acceleration. Let us say now the person is not motionless, rather at some instance he starts from this point looking at radius r and it starts moving inwards with some velocity v, right? So moving inward radially with speed v. Okay. So what basically that means is v is equal to v r cap negative. Is a negative direction, right? So now let's say this is a system. Now what is going to happen is, again, of course, the centrifugal part will remain same at any instantaneous location. Since it's going in that particular circle, it will have the centrifugal force. So we don't have to worry about it. We already derived it. Now this motion, now since v is there, total acceleration, total force is Coriolis plus centrifugal plus the physical nature of the physical forces. Now since there is a velocity, there will be a Coriolis force. So right now let's just only worry about the Coriolis force. So let us see what is the Coriolis force for this system. Now the Coriolis force is, we wrote it down as 2m omega cross v, okay? And this v was measured in the rotating frame, which is now equal to minus v r cap. So we can find this out. Minus 2m omega was omega z cap cross minus will be plus v r cap, and this is simply going to give us 2m omega v. Z cap cross r cap will give you theta cap. Okay. That's what R will. So r theta z coordinate system. And what is the direction theta? So from this point, well, let me draw it in this way. Okay. So here, if I draw, then actually the person is tracing out this large circle, and this is the theta cap direction. Okay. We can again rotate it by 90 degrees and look at from the top view. So center, this is the person, instantaneous position r, this is omega, right? This is the direction of v. So the centrifugal force is then in the positive theta direction. Sorry, not the centrifugal. The Coriolis force is in the positive theta direction. So this is the direction of Coriolis force. So so when I start walking on the platform, so you go in the playground, you're standing still, the platform is rotating nicely, you feel an outward push. If you want to now go towards the center of the platform, one would feel a sideways push or a tangential push, right? Which is then the direction of that will be defined by either we are moving inward or outward with respect to the sense of rotation. So, and that is the Coriolis force that one feels, right? And now what happens is we can again try to see the effect or the interpretations from two different frames, right? That what a person observing this in the frame of the platform would argue, and what about the person who is standing still and looking the platform will be moving, and the person trying to go towards the center argue about it. Okay. So let us do that, and let me just. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now what the person says is, of course, on the platform when I am rotating, I am trying to go towards the center of the platform. For observers stationary on the platform, I am actually going towards the center, right? So although there is a force which is trying to push me sideways or the tangential direction, I will still maintain moving here, right? That's what is the problem, that I am moving inward radially with speed v. So that means somehow this sideways push should have been balanced, right? And this sideways push can be balanced if there is a force of friction again between the platform and my feet, but in the sideways direction, right? So in the frame O double prime, right? Again, what are the forces present in O double prime? There is Fg, which is balanced by the normal reaction because we are not moving up and down. We are moving towards the center, but without any acceleration. It's a constant with a constant speed v, right? So there is no net acceleration in the rotating frame. That means all the forces should balance out each other, and what that means is the Coriolis is going to be balanced out with friction. There will be the centrifugal one, and that is also balanced out by the friction, right? But that we anyway discussed earlier. So Coriolis also now is balanced by the friction. Here the friction is in r cap direction. Here the friction will be in theta cap direction, and we know that on a platform like this, friction force can be there in the r theta plane in any direction that we want. So there is a component of friction which provides balancing with the Coriolis force. There is a component of friction which provides balancing with the centrifugal force, and effectively one sees no acceleration of the mag moving radially inward on that. What about the inertial frame? Looking from here, again I have mg balanced by the normal reaction, so that's fine. I do not have Coriolis. I do not have centrifugal. These are not physical forces. In an inertial frame, they don't exist, right? All I have is friction, right? And now I need to know what is the effect of friction. What is the effect of this friction? So one effect of this friction I know, we discussed that it's to balance out the centrifugal force in the rotating frame, and from the inertial frame point of view, the friction is responsible for mr omega square, right? The centripetal acceleration. And yes, for a person standing here, at any instant, I am still moving in this circle, right? So the friction, component of friction does provide me centripetal acceleration, right? What about this sideways push? So that, what about this component of friction? What is its effect, right? Now to see the effect of that friction, what we have to do is, we have to look for the effect of this rotation. So when the person was going in a circle of constant radius, it had some angular momentum, right? And now if I want to change my location, I want to go slightly near the center of the platform, then effectively I am changing my angular momentum. If I am changing my angular momentum, then the change in angular momentum can only come about from application of torque, right? But this is a closed system. There is no torque. I am not applying any torque from outside. So the torque responsible for letting me change the angular momentum comes from the tangential component of this frictional force, which was seen to compensate for the Coriolis force in the rotating frame. In the inertial frame, this component of friction is responsible for change in the angular momentum of the person moving radially inwards, because at every instant his angular momentum is different, right? Now what is the angular momentum? Now we can see what is that number. It should be same as the Coriolis force, this one. So what is the angular momentum? Right now let's talk with the magnitude, because we can always find out what is direction. Angular momentum, instantaneous angular momentum going in the circle of radius r is simply going to be m r. Let me just confirm this. mr square omega, right? This is the value that we found out for this uniform rotation. So the change in angular momentum dl by dt is then equal to 2m r omega dr by dt plus m r square d omega by dt. Right? Now we are not saying that because the motion of the person, the platform's angular speed is changing, the platform is still rotating with constant angular speed omega. So d omega by dt is 0, and then this term is simply 2m r omega v, right? Because dr over dt is simply v. He is moving radially inward, so dr over dt is nothing but v, and this is the change in angular momentum, which is equal to torque, right? And what is the torque? Now this torque is coming because of friction, right? So this torque is equal to F friction into R at any given instance where the radial position is R is equal to 2m r omega v. R will cancel out, and what we'll get is that the effect of this frictional force is to cause change in angular momentum 2m omega v, which is same as what we got this. Of course, the direction we can put there, directions of L and then R and omega, and you can see, R is the resistance, direction of omega, and then you can see that the direction is in the theta cap direction. So, again, in the rotating frame, we will see forces which are physical, gravitational, normal reaction, friction, and the frictional forces, pseudo forces, Coriolis and centrifugal. In the inertial frame, we will only see physical forces, so gravitational, normal reaction, and friction. And effect of this friction is to provide centripetal acceleration as well as to provide the torque to enable the moving person to change its angular momentum as measured from the inertial frame. We can quickly consider another variation of this. And maybe I'll restrict the restriction there. So let us say the person is not moving now in the radial direction, but moving tangentially at constant r. So now my problem has changed slightly further. This is the platform seen from top. This is the omega, right? The person who was initially at this location r starts moving tangentially. So he has a tangential velocity, right? And then he basically tries to move on this circle, right, of constant radius r. Right? Again, there will be forces. So since he is going to move in the frame of, so in O prime, we will have forces which are basically F centrifugal, F Coriolis, and in this particular case, we will also get F Coriolis also in the same direction. Of course, you will have Fg equal to N, and similarly, friction will be the one which will provide balancing with F Coriolis and F centrifugal, such that the motion is in that particular arc. Okay. So let's try to do it very quickly. Right. So the F Coriolis in this case is again minus 2m omega cross v of this, and now in this case v is basically theta cap, omega is z cap, right? So what you get is 2m omega v r cap. So radially outwards. F centrifugal is of course radially outward. So the F Coriolis and F centrifugal now in this case are both in the same direction, right? But that is not our concern. Right? So the total force that one is going to see. So F rotation is, of course, mg and n will cancel out, so we don't have to worry about. It will be friction plus F Coriolis plus F centrifugal, right? And the F friction is then going to be basically responsible for this is the only non-balanced force in the inertial frame. So F rotation, as we said, is F inertial. Sorry, when we write it out like this, well, no, correct. We'll put the values differently. So F inertial plus the Coriolis force plus the centrifugal force, and we know the values 2m omega v, and there also it will be m omega r square. So this is in the rotational frame. Everything can be balanced out. What about the inertial frame? Right? So in O, how do we explain the same thing in the inertial frame? Now in the inertial frame, what is happening is a person is trying to move on that circle of constant radius, right? And there is only friction. So friction can have many components along all these directions, but it's only the friction which is now going to give us the balancing there. However, when we calculate the motion of the this object, this person from the initial frame, what we'll see is that he's moving with speed v tangential at every point with respect to the with respect to the platform. So we'll write down F friction is now leading to the motion of the system, and since it's going in a continuous circle, it's ma inertial, right? What is inertial acceleration for this person? It's velocity. So v by r is the acceleration. It's going in a circle, so it's a centripetal acceleration. V by r, right? So v by r is the omega, and this thing is m. So I'll write it down as m v inertial square over r. Right? This is the effect of this force. What is v in? M by r. V in now is the tangential velocity of the platform at every instant, which is nothing but omega r, plus the tangential velocity of the person on that platform. Right? So related to the platform, the person is moving with velocity v. So in the inertial frame, this is total instantaneous tangential velocity, which is then going to lead us to this A inertial square. So now we can write it down as m omega square r plus m v square over r plus 2m omega v. Right? So the friction force, the only physical force in the inertial frame, is then equal to this one, or it balances out these things in there, which all have effect because of this only. There is nothing like a new force there, right? And what are these? M omega square r is just the centripetal force because of the location of the particle on the platform. So this is nothing but F centrifugal. This one is F Coriolis, right? And what is this? And what is this? This one is nothing but F. I think here I missed the sign, so let's change the sign properly. Right? Looking at what we did there, what we did in the earlier ones. So F Coriolis plus this, which is F of rotation. Right? Because on the platform, this is the actual acceleration, or this is the actual motion of the person. He has a tangential velocity v, so his acceleration v square over R. Right? And if you look at these two, these are exactly the same things. Right? So we get the same answers, however, the interpretations are slightly different. In the rotational frame, there are Coriolis and centrifugal forces balanced by the friction, and they allow the person to change its angular momentum as well as change its position. From the initial frame point of view, there is only a force of friction which is responsible for the total acceleration of the system.